Hey folks, welcome to the stream. It's Van Kraken here, and today we are doing a shakedown cruise in our brand new and shiny Tier 8 USN battleship Kansas. I am a World of Warships Legends player and alpha tester for the last year, but before that, I was a PC player going on 4 years this Thanksgiving. So I've been doing Legends 3 nights a week from a streaming perspective for the last month or so. New to this game, just a hobby for me, just to have fun, share what knowledge I've learned, and hopefully meet some new folks to build a community with in this channel. So today I just have a discrete and kind of focused mission. I'm on US Battleships 1, and with unlocking the Kansas, you get a bonus mission that you can complete with the Florida, the Minnesota, or the Kansas that you can see at the bottom of the screen. So I did one game in the Kansas last night. Did pretty well in a losing effort, netted over 100,000 damage. So I need to get about 390,000 more damage to collect 400 more tokens on that mission, and then very close to completing the base XP of 40,000 as well. So 925 tokens at stake here, with about a day, a little less than a day to complete those missions before the new update hits, I think, which will be US Battleships 2. So, just a quick look. If you haven't had a chance to research the Kansas much, I honestly hadn't done a ton of research on the US battleship line of late, or this line split. Been playing more Legends than PC over the last year, but I've started picking up the PC again and playing a lot more, especially with the prospect of getting a new computer that could handle streaming and starting to do some of that for fun. So when I started looking at this new line split, I saw that the Kansas was coming up in the reward chain as the first reward ship. I thought it was a premium at first, but then just realized it's an early release tech tree ship. Ground to it and really didn't research it until I unlocked it yesterday. And didn't realize, I knew she was fat. I knew she was in the new fat class along with California, Minnesota. But what I didn't realize is that per the wiki, she's basically an enhanced Colorado class battleship, which the wiki refers to as really what was the crown or the pinnacle of a standard battleship design in the US, basically pre-World War II and World War II period. So Colorado for me brings back some nightmares, because when I first started playing the game, Colorado was not good to me. It was pre-buff. She was slower and I think even clunkier than she is today. And US battleships were the first line that I really ground with much effort. So I think Montana was my first tier 10 that I unlocked. And Colorado was not a fun experience. I didn't really understand the dynamics of battleship play from a slow battleship perspective well enough to realize that if you get over to the side of the map, you're not going to do a whole lot in a slow battleship. So anyway, I have progressed, have a little bit better understanding of things now, and going back to that first game in Kansas yesterday, actually those Colorado nightmares didn't completely return. It was a pretty fun game. Just the pros from the wiki: she has a heavy broadside. She has basically 406 millimeter main guns, an upgrade from the 8 on the Colorado. She has great main battery range. You can see in the upgrades that I put on her in the bottom row. I did do a range upgrade just because the other choice wasn't all that awesome. I think she gets out over 26 kilometers base without a spotter plane, which is fantastic. Turning radius, not bad, though she is super slow. She's only 23 knots max speed. I know Minnesota's even worse at about 20. So you're going to notice that you're not going to go anywhere fast. Torpedo bulges are also good on her, as well as they are on Colorado. She has pretty good torpedo protection. Not as good as Alabama, which is a premium that I have and I really like, but still pretty stout. And she has unique AA. So her AA is a good base value, but her AA mounts, you'll see in the cons below, are open AA mounts, so they're pretty easily destroyed by HE. So you'll have to watch your basically percentage of effective AA you have over the course of the match if you're getting HE spammed. And she does have a defensive fire consumable, which isn't very common, not common on US battleships. So I think that's a neat feature. The cons down below, we said she's the slowest tier 8 battleship. We didn't say she was the slowest, but we said she was slow with a base speed of 23 knots. that can be upgraded slightly. Extremely slow reload, 40-second reload without modifications. High dispersion. So her vertical dispersion, or sigma, is 1.5, which is not a great value. And her AP penetration is going to fall off significantly at range. So you have to keep that in mind. You have 26-kilometer base range with the upgrade that I put on her, but she's not going to have great penetration capabilities. So you're going to want to keep your shots on superstructure, not at armor belt when you're at distance. 32 millimeter plating in the superstructure, which is going to make her vulnerable to HE spammers. You're going to have to watch out for that. And large caliber overmatch with regard to AP. She can give up basically massive broadside damage, which is what it also says in the cons, even with her Citadel being pretty well submerged and difficult to hit. Probably easier to hit with plunging fire from a distance than fire up close. So one other bummer is she doesn't have the repair party that the other American battleships have, which is an enhanced repair party with more damage replacement on that enhanced repair party. She has a regular one, and she has some unique armor features interiorly that basically make her have some shot traps where shots will bounce around inside her layers of armor and potentially cause additional damage. So we talked about her AA. We talked about her taking major superstructure and broadside damage. So you're not going to want to play her broadside and rely on her armor, basically. Let's jump into port. As you can see, I've got basically just 2,000 XP left on the base XP mission to get 525 tokens. And again, 390,000 damage. So I'm going to bounce back and forth. If I get killed and have to punch out of a match, I'm just going to switch over to another battleship I like, probably something like Scharnhorst, which I like to play for fun. And then hop back into Kansas. Going to keep it really focused and tight on a couple ships here, and go with those ships. Sorry, I didn't have my mission screen pulled up where you could see what I had left in the missions. But again, about 2,000 XP and 390,000 damage to complete. So here she is in port, in Fjord. What does that view look like? Looks a lot like California to me, just bigger and fatter. And you can see those open anti-aircraft mounts that the wiki was talking about. So any HE that lands in here is going to cause splash damage and reduce the effectiveness of this AA. So pretty cool looking ship though, very stout. I was listening to Sea Raptor the other night. I think he has some nautical engineering background and was just talking about the very interesting funnel configuration on this ship for a US battleship. I know some of the Japanese ships have this dual funnel where basically two different boilers are porting up to one stack instead of a single stack per boiler. And he was talking about how there might be a different number of boiler rooms versus screws because she has 4 propellers, and how they might do crazy gear reduction sets to make that work, getting an odd number of propellers to match up with boilers. Very interesting. Not a naval engineer, but I've always been interested in ships and planes, so someday maybe I'll research that a little further. All right, let's go ahead and hop in. Again, my first game last night went pretty well, which means absolutely nothing for this current game. Odds are that it goes as smoothly probably are low, but hey, we're going to take what we've learned with regard to positioning, because the number one thing with US battleships in my mind is picking good initial positioning that allows you to influence not just the early stage of the battle, but also be in a spot where you can have an impact late game and not be stranded on the 1 line, the 10 line, A line, or J line. So I live in Boise, Idaho, sporting my Boise State mug. It's our first home football game tonight. Be pretty interesting how that goes in the midst of what's going on societally right now. If you have any questions in the chat, hop in and drop them. Be happy to offer any advice I have. This ship is new to me, but again, general game mechanics I'm pretty well skilled on. I'm definitely not Notzer, but I've spent quite a bit of time on the forums and the Discord and just the different sites, including Reddit, and Ship Comrade, which sadly seems like it's shutting down or has shut down.
Capture that area.
All right. So my choices here, old me probably would have taken a left-hand turn and headed towards the A cap. I don't want to get stranded so far to one side that I'm not going to be able to impact the later stage battle, again, given her really slow speed. So I think I'm going to bear more of a central course, work from A to B.
Well done, Commander.
So we are kind of light at A. Hopefully the Belfast and the Akatsuki will be smart enough not to try to enter A and get spotted up and focused in there too quickly. I play mostly solo. I do have a clan, but I've basically been a two account of my own clan for quite a while to build up port resources and get all the bonuses of a clan, but without having to do the administration. Actually have a decent number of buildings and buffs built up in my port just by playing my own 2 US-based accounts. I just started a EU server account very recently, which with improved internet speeds and the technology advancing, it's been actually not much different from playing them in my NA accounts. Alright, we have nothing spotted yet, but we know an enemy DD is in B. We are low tier, but it's not a tier 10 game, thankfully. But some relatively high tier DDs that we will be a wanted target for sure. Everybody loves to torpedo a slow, fat battleship like me. Alright, maybe we can take advantage of our little brother, that Colorado. Open up the first salvo, get a turn, and a change of speed in. Want to overpen. Change speed, turn away, and then start turning back in once this salvo from the Colorado passes. And just shrug off that without any damage. My detection with concealment mod and concealment expert on my captain brings it to about 13 kilometers, so it's not horrid. Really not terrible. Able to break detection there after not firing. Currently not detected, so it doesn't seem like the DD that capped B went beyond B towards our half of the map. Start working central now.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
Just need a spot at A. We can still reach A given really good range. Main battery. Proceed past the center island, we might be able to get some broadside fire potentially on this FDG. So if we turn and hold here, broadside targets coming through the A cap, or the C cap. A. Turn around. Akatsuki is 1v5. Hopefully he realizes he doesn't have to stick in and die, just fall back. Belfast took a ton of damage.
The enemy team has taken the
Now, if
lead.
you're following what's happening on the minimap and the team is really aligning more BC, there's no need to go into A and try to hold A. Superstructure on the FDG. Thousand salvo, not bad. Now they're mad that people went to sea. Yugumo's probably in that smoke spamming us.
Enemy battleship problem solved, sir.
It does seem like a huge percentage of the team is focused only on C right now, though. This guy should be showing broadside C, so... Getting some focus fire on him would not be a bad idea, though. He's going to turn. He's going to have to bow into C, so we're going to get some broadside. With 406mm guns, I don't think I'm going to be able to citadel him. Obviously, I'm going to aim right above the armor belt. See how that does. 12,500, we'll take it.
The enemy is about to win.
I had a pretty big numerical advantage at sea, and we haven't been able to take advantage of it. Go ahead and get fire on the Z. It's going to duck behind as well. Alright. Time to rotate our guns. Just gonna look to the right, hold down my gun lock, get my guns pre-rotating, get my repair party, and start angling in to C and to the FDG. Fire on the Georgia. Georgia's broadside. No one's calling targets at all. Helpful.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
We have Pomerans that have died already back behind the island. That game went quick. I think there's a whole lot I would have been able to do at the A cap. Would have got focused down there as well. Okay. The Belfast and the DD at A had just basically backed off a bit, kept those guys spotted, delayed them. Probably could have come back around and flanked. That was a very short and poor game damage-wise, but we still managed to get 5th on the team, which tells you how crappy a team game it was overall. I play mostly solo, as I mentioned, other than having clan tags for the buffs and the benefits of the port. But being a team game, I have learned to not try to get as worked up as I used to get. Still like to win. Sometimes too much so. But I do try to keep in balance that it's a game, not rage on people. A lot of newer players that seem to be rushing to high tier. I think the game kind of encourages that between the level that ranked battles are played at, usually at a pretty high tier. A lot of these campaigns and mission sets require higher tier ships to make quick progress. So while it may not be stated that you want to rush up the tiers, I think there's an implicit bias in the rewards to running higher tier ships. And I don't know that that's great for new players.
Battle starts. Good luck.
I saw a download coming into my game center, so we must have the new update coming tomorrow at the end of the expiration of this mission set that I'm working on. My ultimate goal is to try to unlock the Florida. I'd like to pick her up. She seems like a pretty fun ship and kind of unique as well. I really like tiers 6 through 8. That's probably my favorite tiers in the game. Just don't spend all my time playing tier 10. I usually wind up progressing up, unlocking my tier 10, and then starting on another line. So, the way I think more the pursuit of the grind and the progress of the grind than just playing the top of the lines. Whereas other people seem to really enjoy playing tier 10. Interesting and fun commentary going on about the butt crack island between the islands. Have anyone heading that way? Doesn't look like it. Not late enough. There hasn't been enough alcohol consumed. We have the Olin spotting for us. First customers. That Amalfi reacts quick enough. And look at the dispersion. Lateral dispersion is pretty horrendous at distance. Keep pushing, but not too quickly. I don't want to get way out ahead of my teammates. Vlad is going for cover. We know we're going to get focused, especially by the cruisers. Will be the easiest targets to set on fire. Started the game with the USN cruiser line, got to the Omaha and realized that cruisers were not going to be the easiest ships to play. So backed off and actually played quite a bit of battleships for a while. Again, I think Montana was my first tier 10, which you'll see in my stats. I haven't played Montana a ton since I've unlocked her. I probably really wasn't ready for the Colorado, wasn't ready for the Iowa. Big difference in speed and armor schemes of those ships. A lot of change between tier 7 and tier 9. North Carolina I liked a lot. That's probably my favorite ship of the entire line. I have probably more games played in her than any of the other tech tree ships. Awesome, getting to demonstrate the torpedo reduction already. This is the right ship here. Back up a little bit. Obviously that was the Asashio. Hit us with deep water torpedo. Like we're currently the little bit hotter side with regard to the enemy deployment. Can't say red team because I play in colorblind mode. Why my icon colors are really different. Monarch blanked out, so let's go ahead and start forward again a little bit. Fortunately, that torpedo did quite a bit of irreparable damage.
Much obliged.
The Asashio on our side will have to stay kind of bow in to A. Likely there'll be another torpedo spread coming before too long. And Monarch is coming back our way.
Enemy cruiser detected.
No pens. So we'll keep our target selection off the cruisers for now until we get a little bit closer. I don't want them to feel like they're getting too much attention. We'll shift over when it's time to target them. About now. See if we can catch that Mogami sleeping. Just undershot him. The next one. Ugh. It's turned out. Get the HE spam now. Have to fall back a bit. Amount of attention that we're getting. Just missing. Takes me a while to get used to new guns, that's for sure. And haven't played the Colorado forever, which probably has the closest gun handling characteristics. Shift to the Turpits, which should be a little more reliable speed-wise. Short. Fortunately, we're seeing that AP penetration drop off. Get up and support the Vlad now.
Enemy battleship sighted.
He's out of commission. Too late to support him. That was grief. They're still coming.
We're hull below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
Thought all those torps had come through by now. Seriously.
Problem solved, sir. Critical engine damage.
Man, we are just over and under
All stations.
all of our
requesting fire on the
shots.
designated target. All stations requesting fire on the designated
And sending
target.
broadside to the North Carolina, which is bad news. Good news is he's focused on the
All
Baltimore.
stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Not a good demonstration of gunnery so far, guys. Sorry about that. I wait for all those guns to be reloaded. That's part of my issue. So I'm firing on the Monarch. Doesn't feel like we're ahead by one ship. There's no reason for me to push at this point. Play defensive, try to hold the line at A. Got these guys cycling back behind our cap, hopefully to just hold these guys off, but it'd be nice if we could keep A. Or take A.
Set a smoke screen. Get back.
We can surprise the Amalfi or the Mogami. Only issue is shell velocity isn't super high. Like, we're only gonna get one shot in. One was enough. We got a Citadel. I love the Japanese cruiser line, but they are fragile. I like the Japanese cruiser line a lot, except for Ibuki. Alright. At this rate, it's going to take us about 50 games to get our 390,000 damage. I thought after yesterday's first game, it would be a lot easier, but I was 1v5 getting chased across the map on the Atlantic, and I had 4 ships follow me, 4 or 5, but no one was HE spamming me, so just kept bouncing a lot of AP, not getting set on fire very much, so I was able to come across the entire map and survive while dealing damage that whole time. Sashio. Alright, rather than join the push around the edge, which isn't going to yield much targeting other than capturing this cap, which one ship could do on its own, I'm going to turn back and start helping to defend C. Hopefully there are not another set of Sashio torpedoes coming. Hopefully that would have been spotted by the Hipper and the Baltimore. Good news is we can get shots in on these guys from long distance. Spot. Range will be wildly dispersed, but worth a try. At least help push him back from our cruisers. Other Kansas closer. Deal broadside damage to him. Hit him, but we got non-pen and a bounce. So some of the bullet points we saw, decreasing AP penetration at distance, that's definitely happening. Good main shell damage, I think it's 11,000 on Citadel hits. Slow speed. Proven. We'll probably just spend the rest of this map sailing. Team didn't try to push too far early. That was a good plan.
Our team has taken the lead.
In my experience, you really don't have to push past a line between A and B too far through the caps, at least until a later stage in the game. It's the teams that push and get picked off by the teams that are defending, not defending too far back, obviously, but defending at mid-range. They're often successful, especially if the push is one by one and you can focus down the enemy ships as they come through the caps. Get at least one of the two, A or B, that's lesser populated by the enemy. Guess we could look for the CV. At this point, the clock's Counter is going to run to 1,000 soon. Test turning radius, which actually is pretty dang good. Bleeding quite a bit of speed in the turn. It's expected when you don't have more than 23 knots to begin with. There are quite a few battleships. We wouldn't have been able to complete that turn successfully. So that is a bonus. Alright, well, the Citadel hit. Was a highlight. Bottom of the barrel because of the low damage. I just want to conserve some health. I didn't want to push and get eliminated really quickly in case they needed me later in the match. So we should have knocked out our first task, which was the base XP. Actually, no, we're very close. Let's keep plugging away. Hopefully we can get a meaningful damage game in here. Early release ship, did notice that the modules were basically unlocked. Like a premium ship. Which is pretty cool. I don't remember if that's a feature of early release or not. Definitely nice in this ship not having to grind those modules out. Upgrades out. And straight 8s. 4 Kansases on our team. 1 on the other team. That's awesome. The people have the same plan that we have right now. With regard to what they need to work on. Holy Kansas Batman. Looks like a bunch of people are just unlocking it. One of the people in chat is saying that they love the ship. And I like it a lot more than I expected when I read that it was based on Colorado. But anyway, for me, it's just a matter of getting used to a ship. That's why this stream really is about Shakedown. Get used to the guns. I am a cruiser main more than anything. Newer to destroyers. Cruiser main for the last 2 to 3 years. That's what I play the most of by far. Been trying to pick up DDs. I have never played a CV game in my life, honestly. Even though I was amazed by naval aviation as a kid and wanted to go to the Naval Academy to fly, but then because I'm colorblind, I couldn't go. Got a congressional nomination, but stopped the process because of my eyes. So I would think that I'd be more into carriers, but I think because they remind me of Artie from World of Tanks, which I also never played, I just have never gotten into playing TVs. Try some long-range firing. It's gonna turn out. No, there'll be DDs or HE spammers in this gap, so I'm not gonna proceed straight in. Support do we have? We have quite a bit of support behind us at this cap. Turn inwards. Maybe we can get one of these ships broadside. Or help out in the middle, given that we do have this pretty extensive range.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target. target.
Really need to work on my leads. And I just, again, have not played as much Battleship of late, except for working on the Anchorage campaign. Down. Beef. A lot of straddles.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
A little more lead. That sigma of 1.5 is really that straddling. There's a lot of vertical dispersion. There were an ellipse over the ship you're firing at.
Enemy battleship detected.
And that reload is just really, really slow. Holy crap. 40 seconds feels like forever.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Salvo in on the Kutuzov if we can. Gonna turn away. Nope, he's gonna go out, not in. Now he's gonna turn in. Hold this position for a little bit. We're not far off with our shots, just little adjustment.
All stations requesting fire on the
Little adjustment and we'll be far more effective. Go. Almost 8,000. Evacuate that flank a little bit. Kutuzovs are a priority target as well. We have a Kutuzov and a Belfast. Pretty dangerous ships. Fire through there, so let's start heading central. We already have 4 ships flanking. Don't need to be a 5th. Our Benson's already making a cap push. Not gonna help my damage total again. So let's get some broadsides in on these guys maybe. There's Kansas. They're burning him down. Poor bastard. Dispersion is crazy. We're definitely have to start playing her closer in to be more effective with her, but just balance presence of destroyers and limited mobility. If we can sneak these over the top of that island. Get out of the way, I have a feeling. Out. 2 North Carolinas off to our right. Flank them next. Looks like they're in broadside position based on the minimap. And I think it's basically 3/4 now of their cap taken. No one's really noticing. Not noticing enough. There we go. More what we want to see. A little bit high. Slow down and bow in. can execute a turn and kite because we're going to be broadside to 2 North Carolinas and possibly the Vlad. That was it. Good God, we capped out. I would have taken a little longer game. We were just in a position to start doing some broadside damage. Good gravy. On the bottom again. But base XP wise, that knocked off one of our missions, so we're basically now left with 300,000 of damage. Alright, let's see what happens when we push a little harder now. Haven't been pulled up to tier 10, which is a good thing. We have an Asashio again. Oh, this is tier 10, but there's only a couple. Definitely have to try to identify where the Asashio is. We're not going to be able to evade those torpedoes easily at all. No CVs, so there won't be early spotting of the DDs most likely in this game. DDs must be ecstatic not being in a carrier game. Someone loves the Kansas from the last game. There's another one who doesn't want to play it anymore. This chat. 4 again on our team, 4v2. Alright, so let's split A and B. Time. On the opposite side of the A cap. Back up the Ostergotland at A. And we do have some island cover central here, which is the difference from the opposite side where you really have no cover when you're in this area here. Push a little stronger and at least have some bit of cover to execute a turn behind if we need it.
Enemy battleship.
Deal. Another ricochet.
Enemy destroyer sighted. Enemy cruiser sighted.
Play off this island. We can use for a little bit of cover if we need it.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
And there's the Asashio on our side again.
Enemy battleship sighted. Enemy destroyer detected.
Where the turning capability is going to come into play. Straddled another shot. Reaction the Asashio. I can't remember if she has a third. Could be detected by our DD. to see that North Carolina in the storm.
Enemy battleship sighted.
And we're still collecting overpens bounces. Try to get past this point here so we're not in this torping lane. Staying in that torping lane where the Asashio was.
Nice work.
Thunder seems like he's moving up. This map is hell in the fog for me to see where the ships are. I don't know if it's easier for you non-colorblind people, but pretty difficult for me. Did not connect. That was a long shot. Thunder is really hanging around the corner. Guys, watch the edge. Say the Asashio is going to torp the edge. That was predictable.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
Here. Turn in. One good connection here. Close enough to reduce the effect of the dispersion. It's better. Call for fire on that here.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
Try not to stay broadside to the Carolina for too long. Ass is just sitting. Guys,
All
he's low
stations
health.
requesting fire on the designated target.
Secondary is 5.3 kilometers.
All stations concentrate fire on the target.
Not sure why the Kutuzov. I guess they were detected in their smoke. They had to stop firing. Could have used his torpedoes as well. Not
Torpedoes
completely
to
sure
starboard.
why he had to bail his smoke. Oh, Asashio, for crap's sake.
Get ahead. Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Got much further out than I was tracking him to be. Seriously, no pen. Just missed the kill.
Problem solved, sir.
Alright. Angled North Carolina. Little crap right there. Get our guns back to the side that we're already close to.
Enemy destroyer sighted. Enemy cruiser detected.
See if we can hit him while he's broadside. Now the Zed is feasting on us too.
The ship is on
Bearing
fire.
burn out. Better damage game. Still not where we want it to be, fortunately. Let's exit out. Come back. We have a lot of containers too. Do a separate stream where I'll open all these containers. I've been saving up containers all the way from basically the 5th anniversary event on. Decent number of super containers to open. I'm playing on my other account a lot, so this account doesn't have a ton of coal built up, so I've been trying to build up coal and free XP. Alright. Jump into Scharnhorst. A little more of my typical speed. More speed, more maneuverability, more cruiser-like. But I had it going there decently if it weren't for that Asashio. Of course, I pull the Asashio side 2 games in a row. 2 out of 3. Alright, we are top tier. That's new as well. Tier 8 gets pulled up a lot. We did have one all tier 8 game, but that's why a lot of other people don't really like tier 8 that much, just because it does get pulled into tier 9 and tier 10 matchmaking quite a lot. Doesn't bother me too much personally, because I just like the ships at that tier. A lot of fun historical ships at tier 8. Tier 6 through tier 8. In fact, I think Scharnhorst was my first premium. Tirpitz probably not long after that. Gross was the first premium cruiser that I got in a Santa Crate, and really played the heck out of that ship. That's where I really started to like cruisers, when I got the de Grasse. But the first year of Santa Crates, about 3 years ago, maybe 3 years, I think it was 3 holidays ago, 2 full years, was just absolutely insane. The ship drop rate was so fantastic. Every 3rd crate or so was ship. It was insane. They subsequently have fixed that drop rate, so it's not nearly as lucrative as it used to be. It's still good. You can still get ships like Kutuzov, Belfast, Emperor Nikolai, that you can't get in any other way now. But God, that first year was amazing. That's where I got a Nikolai. I have a lot of ships that are hard to find now, just because I bought crates and bought some premiums, a lot more from say 2 years ago, and more back in time than recent times. And on Legends, if you spend basically 2,500 doubloons to back your mission chain, your campaign chain, you can win the top tier ships with a decent amount of work, far less grindy than what's on PC. And you get those ships for basically $5. You get some gold back. You complete the mission sets. You get gold back if you spend 2,500 doubloons. You get 1,000 back, so you wind up, for $5, you wind up with a tier 6 or tier 7 ship. Tier 7's the highest regular ship on Legends, for about $5 or less, depending on what cost you spent to get your doubloons. I've really focused on premium ships on Legends for a while. So catch that cruiser sleeping. 1 pen. Scharnhorst is like a Swiss Army knife. He's got torpedoes that are usable at attack angles. Her guns are serviceable, not great, but they reload every 20 seconds instead of 30. So it's kind of like a heavy cruiser with a little less mobility and way better armor. But 7 kilometer secondaries, the torpedoes for knife fights. Her reload and having more guns than Gneisenau makes her more fun to play than Gneisenau, in my opinion. Emil, around the corner. In a bad spot.
Enemy battleship detected.
A little more water line.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Wide turn just to avoid torpedoes. Wall. Gosh, my aimer is off today, big time.
All stay good luck, everyone.
We know the Zara has torpedoes, they're really slow.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
Probably evade those torpedoes if necessary. We'll have to watch for torpedoes from the DD, which will probably put them right out in this path. So
Torpedoes to port.
get close enough, get my secondaries in range on the Zara.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
I'm gonna turn in. Just got torped by my teammate.
Our team has taken the lead.
That was awesome. That was kind of distracting.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
That was from Japanese DD. That just totally got me out of my concentration there, my train of thought. Always awesome
Problem
getting
solved,
torqued
sir.
by your teammates.
Enemy battleship sighted. The ship is on fire. All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Tsuki's turning sideways, so most likely torping. So we're gonna try to bug at an angle, bow in to the Bayern. Not gonna cut the island close. We'll probably torp the edge of this island.
Our victory is in sight. Torpedoes to
Our
starboard.
catapult fighter for spotting.
Fighter airborne.
Helena's dead. Don't worry about the Helena, but we do have the DD who will probably torp this passage here. Have to turn away at a bit of an angle. Oh, dang. Get the cap. Oh my gosh, we just missed capping. Guy's behind us, he'll grab it. Hopefully. I'll turn back in. Now I can heal back on the Bayern.
Fighter returning
And take
to
a
ship.
wide berth around that smoke. I'm gonna go ahead and get my turrets turning again by facing the opposite direction, holding my gun lock. Or zoom out key down, right click, basically. Returning your turrets in a battleship just really save time getting your second set of turrets around. Usually your rear turrets, getting them turning faster. There's the torpedoes we were worried about. One thing Sharn does not have, she doesn't have hydro. Like say the Bismarck does. And the FDG. One minute late, $1 short on another kill. Head to the last known position of the Mutsuki. Good chance they're on the opposite side of this island, probably trying to torp one of these paths. Still detected, unfortunately, so gonna have to take a relatively wide berth around this island. And I can use my float fighter as well, my catapult fighter. Torpedoes there. After our teammate instead. Stay bow into the Nagato. Nagato has way better guns than we have. But not great side armor. Now we're perma-spotted by the Nagato, so we have to be careful. The DD is going to be spotting us as well, lining up torp run, so I'm going to switch directions. Oh, we got the Nagato.
Enemy battleship foundered.
I thinking I was in this area, going to that area, so I'm going to switch and go to the opposite side. Change my course and speed. And I'll put my catapult fighter up here shortly. See that my detected indicator is still on, so that DD is still there stalking me. Take a flyer, no pun intended. Fire at. Just turn away from the area where the DD is.
Torpedoes, direct front.
One. Just one.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Fire on the Pensacola. Turn back into the middle of the map where we can support our team. Okay.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Problem solved, sir.
The relatively rare Arnhorst Citadel hit. Just don't have super high armor penetration. The shells are not very big. A Citadel hit's probably only worth 6,500, something like that. Not the 10,000 of a battleship with bigger caliber guns. So based on where those torps came from, the DD could be coming through this passage, trying to torp in here. And not make a sharp angle along this line, just in case I would catch again a salvo of torpedoes broadside. We've finally broken detection, so he's between that island. Well, that island's blocking between us at this point. Watch detection and see when we get undetected. Sorry, see when we get detected again. And I know he might be in this area here. Their last battleship was all the way in sea. Team, we're doing quite well this game. Now we're detected, so he's either come through here or he's further over here. Arnhorst guns may not be high caliber, but they have really good range. 19.9 kilometers base. Relatively flat gun arcs, too. Just keep shooting armor piercing, but I will go ahead and load HE just in case the destroyer pops up. I'll have HE loaded. Other side, maybe? A little bit in front of him. Alright, let's head back in the middle. Done. Now it's just waiting it out. We know he's close enough to spot us. take up station in B cap here, next to the Leon. Have to decide if I want to use my fighter. I'm not going to sail in a straight line. Probably in this area, somewhere in here. Mexico not taking evasive action, so don't know if he's spotted well. Not much he can do other than kind of plan one final attack right now. Went for the Leon. Excited by the Florida. She's another different tier 7 battleship, kind of like Scharnhorst, just not the same old, same old. I think she's pretty squishy. And her guns, when they hit, I think are pretty effective, but pretty high dispersion. Alright, it's kind of like watching the paint dry. Except we're spotted the whole time, so you can't completely relax. Probably in this area, somewhere in here now. These guys feel safe over here. He's probably here.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
That Leon is just hopeful firing. I don't think anything's been spotted. Last position on the mini-map was here. That's how long he's been undetected.
Torpedoes to port.
Yep, you were right. We guessed right. Close enough to be spotted by our plane.
Fighter airborne.
Fortunately, I think he's going to run out the counter, points counter. So the icy camo that I got on Scharnhorst was from, I think, Holidays 2 years ago, if not 3. I believe it was the year that you could get the Grosh Spey. It was kind of a Grosh Spey versus Scharn. Or, no, maybe Hunt for Grosh Spey was separate. I did pick up Grosh Spey in one of the campaigns, and there was another where you could get, maybe it was a separate year, because you could get camo for Scharnhorst, and you could get the Duke of York and the Duke of York's icy camo. That must have been a separate year. Some of the coolest camo in the game, in my opinion. Really well done when you look at the up-close detail of all the ice dripping off the features of the ship. Much better finish. A ship I'm familiar with. We earned some credits. We had to spend quite a few credits to outfit Kansas. Just bought Republique. Outfitted her. I had 100 or 200 million credits over that, but spent a good chunk. Picking up crates. Alright, let's go back to Kansas. See what we can do. Good God, those last 3 battles were a huge drop-off from the first battle that I had. Wasn't a lot of destroyers in that first battle. That was a key difference. You know you're a Sashio target the whole game in a ship like this. It makes it a little more tenuous. What's the over-under on how many Kansases there are in this game? I would say 6. God, there's only 2. 1 on each team. That's a high-tier game. And only 2 DDs. Unfortunately, they got a Benson and a Bliss. We got the Kiev. Not really a torpedo boat. Gotta be a little more aggressive this game. Also have tier 6 carrier to deal with, so get a chance to test out the AA a little bit. Haven't really been able to do yet. Northern Waters coming in on sea cap with all the little islands. We'll definitely have to be aware of destroyer ambush and sea. CV gonna try to spot their DDs. That's been the biggest change in the game since I came back and played more frequently while I was gone on Legends. That when I left, no one was playing CVs because they were still in the first couple cycles of the CV rework, and hardly anybody was playing CV at all. I think I had changed most of my cruiser setups to Hydro because you were mainly battling destroyers. And now that I've come back, everybody is running CVs again. So it's switching everything back up. Changing the setups to defensive fire. Had some short and some long. It's definitely a theme. That is a long ways away, 17 kilometers. Actually got quite close to that DD, but not New Orleans. Could hit that Fuso as well. Oop, cruisers. I'll prioritize a cruiser. Oh, to get the back turret. Right over the little cut in that island. See if that works. A little bit behind. And is varying our speed again, trying to throw off their shots. Colorado came up short. He's going forward or backward. Now he's going forward. Now we have some spotting in play. No DD on our side, so basically waiting for them to fire.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
Yeah, has not been spotted. I was just checking that. You know what?
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Just check the map for that reason. I'm gonna turn out.
Problem solved, sir.
Had to use our DCP torpedoes. So we don't want to get caught on fire right now if we can help it. And there's the fire.
The ship is on fire.
Good lord. And our 2 supporting ships are hanging pretty far back. It's my curse. I go try to play closer, and that doesn't quite work out. Watch that Surrey slowing down. There we go.
Confirmed penetration.
Hopefully we'll be able to replace most of this fire damage. There's the battleship. There is the Benson. Linked out. We were in a pretty good position to counter those torpedoes, just got caught on the very edge of the spread. Shot. That was just hell for me to see when it's the foggy version. Turn and heel, turn away from where the Benson's at. Get back around. Have a 3-ship lead, so no need to push into C at this point. We have A and B in our possession. Offer fire on the Colorado.
Position.
Okay, I knew that Benson's still there. He's a Colorado in Maine. He's not going to leave. Barely see these ship outlines.
Good show.
Our team has taken the lead.
Yoko would be fantastic. Dallas would be fantastic if he moved up a little bit to counter that guy. A little bit of screening would go a long way right now. Ander's poking out.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Bounced another shot. Now, based on the fact we have Sims, should be able to spot up that Benson before he can get too close, hopefully. Get down. Overpen. Overpens. 4. Colorado, I don't want to turn straight back into where the Benson's at. But you're going to basically herd me in there, aren't you? Push the gap between B and C. Another straddle. There he is.
Attention, reporting the target position.
Ah, and he's grounded on the island. Seriously. Take it. If he went AFK or what happened there? Strange positioning from the Benson. That was true. Oh. Put a sloop around the other side of the Colorado and follow him in. Better overall team effort again this game. Go. Couple ends. Both their DDs are dead, so now we can relax a little bit on worrying about so much of an evasive course. Long shot to the... Really trying to work out these firing angles and shell velocity. A little more consistent now. Tapping A, talking to R, it's talking to RCV. I don't think we need A at this point. We'll take it. Nice to have.
Carrier sighted.
More successful on hitting those angled targets now with consistency. And it's taken a few games just to dial in the guns. That was better. If I didn't take those torpedoes, I would have been able to push more, but... Top 5 that time. I'm gonna run for a really quick break, guys, and be right back. All right, we are back. Guess we're winning a few of these games. Damage totals slowly increasing, better than 25,000 the last two games. 25 to 50 to 65. Game in the Sharn was a lot more comfortable. Just had a lot more play from me lately than any US battleships. Other than maybe North Carolina, Bama, a little bit of Montana. Don't have the Iowa. I sold the Iowa because that was a rough experience too, just not understanding armor angling very well when I first started out. We'll have to buy her back at some point. Two Kansases again. Only two DDs. There is an Atlanta to contend with too that we'll have to keep track of. Going to attract the attention of any HE spammers, that's for sure. All right. neighbors.
Orders.
We'll head C cap, kind of the gap between B and C. Our guns train across the middle here towards B, where a lot of ships tend to make an initial push.
Here on ESPN 8, The Ocho, bringing you the finest in seldom seen sports from around the globe since 1999. If it's almost a sport, we've got it here.
Alright, let's hope our Kitakaze can spot central for us. We're on the extreme edge, so we're going to attract the attention of any ships at sea, and it looks like we're really going more of a BA push, so rather than lining up my side to the C cap, I might start just shifting my guns a little bit. But I also don't want to cut straight across the middle, so I'll just keep aiming for this island. That's a great island to initially position in a cruiser. Between these two islands right here. I'll kind of take that initial spot and then can decide to pay attention, hold here and pay attention to B, or basically flex to C a little bit. Spain is just firing at random, I guess. Sorry, it's the Talon. Just making yourself spotted. That's all you're doing. Not hitting anything.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship. Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
I'll have to watch that Cleveland as well. Martel.
Enemy battleship detected.
We'll shift our guns to multiple targets off to the starboard side, including both Georgias. They're obscured by the islands right now. Oop, there's a Cleveland. Two Clevelands. 40-second reload is painful. So not uncommon to see turtling behind C.
Enemy cruiser sighted. The ship is on fire. Concentrate fire on the enemy.
We really were the focus in that position.
Requesting support.
Dip out and try to heal up a bit.
Problem solved, sir.
Gotta at least get back turrets onto these Georgias. Either right, Matt. Got a good hit on the Georgia. Took a Citadel as well, unfortunately. Angled a little too much to bring those front turrets into play. Not currently spotted, so I'm hoping those DDs aren't in this area central. So I'm going to feel comfortable turning in this case, to try to get to bear on this Cleveland. I can't believe I'm making this kind of push. It's inadvisable.
Enemy battleship detected.
5 overpens.
The ship is on fire.
want to use damage control yet. Ugh, no. That Kansas was firing HE, thank God.
Fire on the designated target.
Is that our anchorage it pushed in there? Why they did that?
Fire on the enemy warship.
Fall back. Fall for fire
All
on the
stations, proceed to
Akatsuki.
capture that area. Problem solved, sir.
Why are we not pushing A?
Enemy cruisers. Enemy battleship sighted.
I should have held for the Martel. Gorgeous, man. And that thin deck plating. Have to go undetected here until I can heal. Even on ship count, but we need to get a cap. Hard to pass up this shot on the Martel, Charles Martel. Our healing. Come on, see the shot. There we go.
Enemy heavily damaged.
S-
Good game, everyone.
That feels good. Finally get a
Concentrate fire
Citadel.
on the enemy warship.
That's a great cruiser. Nice to take them out. Got this Georgia showing us broadside. While New Orleans and Buffalo are in open water versus Georgia's.
Concentrate fire on the designated.
Probably not the best plan. Buffalo, just get out of there.
Taking the lead.
Currently not being targeted because they're targeting the cruisers. Or Iowa that's suiciding. I don't know any other way to play this but to fall back. Took that much damage on that initial engagement. And our Iowa's in the way.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Able to turn because I had to delay my shot. Didn't want to hit the Iowa, who was low health. Or not, we're still up by a ship. But good God, look at these guys there. Why are they on the one line? Serious doo-doo now. Go for the cruisers, huh? Be patient. We're just gonna give me a little bit of side.
Designated target. Concentrate fire on the enemy
Basically have to
warship.
prioritize the Georgia. There we go. Sake of the Buffalo. Get another repair party going. Need these guns to reload this week. Can't turn in completely because of the Iowa. One thing with these guns, they never know when you're gonna fire because you have to wait so damn long for your reload.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
Well, we've been able to make an active retreat here. No, shoot the Cleveland.
All stations
Shoot
requesting
the
fire on
Cleveland.
designated target.
Bayard, shoot the Cleveland. Dispersion. Dude, Bayard, you're not making it any easier for me to maneuver, buddy. Now, how am I going to shoot over the top of you? Alright. Slow down. Georgia, come around broadside. Team not won yet. Reload! Reload!
Ouch, down population, you, bro!
We got a kill. We got 90,000 damage. I'm gonna cry. Feels good, man. Feels good. I just need to grab C, or grab B cap, sorry. Time do we have? 7, almost 8 minutes. Our Buffalo survived that engagement. Surprised. We were able to support him and at least keep the Georgia distracted that had him teed up. Maybe he got overpenned by the Georgia. God, we have some work to do. Take B, people.
All stations, proceed to capture that area.
At least they're battleships, so they can't easily go run and hide. That was going to give us broadside. Get the range. Shell velocity seems pretty slow. And to lead him out. Further than I would have expected. We broke 100K. Every game's been a little higher. That's the bonus. Bayard does not need to fire. Bayard just needs to cap. Let's see if they're conscientious enough not to try to fire. Firing at a fast battleship. A really slow battleship. The lead difference is tremendous.
Attention, reporting the target position.
Shells finally got to the Kansas. Good grief. I'm just afraid to show too much side to the Iowa. Probably delete me. Kansas is getting a little risky.
The enemy is about to win.
Oh, they're not. We have 5 minutes. We're gonna take this. Feel it. Hot.
Ravelins
Another
and
kill.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
So it's my Kansas feast or famine ship. We'll take 120K. Nagato just needs to stay unspotted and not show that broadside to the Iowa, or he will not last. Might as well use our last repair party charge. 4 minutes. As long as we don't have a death. Should be able to win out on points. That's incumbent on these two guys playing smart. That was not smart. Come on. Kill him! I'm gonna lose this game after this amount of work. Buffalo's got decent health. Stays bow in. We'll reload eventually. Backside. Probably. Need a fire on him, dude. Gotta get a fire on him. Oh, for crap's sake. Don't think going that side and having to switch my guns was going to be any faster.
The time has come for someone to put his foot down. And that foot is me.
Shot.
Nice work.
Yes! Woo!
Sweet.
That feels a lot better. I can play this game, I swear. I can. No, it didn't look like it in those first few games. This was much better. So 140k damage. Wound up with Confederate and a Dreadnought. Given how we started, we lost half our health, like literally on that first engagement. Can't believe we didn't get burned down by those two Clevelands. That's pretty awesome. We wound up in second place. Mission-wise, that was a big chunk of where we needed to go. If I just had 3 games like that, I'd already be done. And over and out. I wonder what this mission was. Yeah, daily. Yeah, daily. Okay. 42,125. Let's go for it. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah, I've had 2 quite good games in this ship. 2 Midland and 2 really slow. Really slow. That felt a lot better. I mean, definitely the maneuverability is pretty decent, but the speed is not. So, was able to switch sides with my guns a few times. The turret rotation's not terrible. Better than some of the Russian battleships, better than some of the British battleships. That's helpful. She doesn't feel as slow as the Colorado to me, but again, it's been forever since I played Colorado. Literally sold that ship and did not look back. 3 years ago, probably. Guard me for life. Oh, for high tier. Alright, I'd like to be able to test the AA versus its carrier again. Didn't really get attacked by CV in that last game.
Action stations.
Let's see where we want to set up this time. I think we'll start in a position where we can support D, maybe somewhat statically in here, and then based on how things go, we'll try to move off into the B or the CD gap. 4 destroyers. Thankfully, 3 of them are tier 6, and their 4th is a tier 8, but it's a Kiev, so it's more of a gunboat than a boat. I'm all in with that. I'll take it. Take what I can get.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Dad sound effects are free on the stream. No extra charge. TV sending planes this way. Bear in where I have some room to make a right-hand turn if necessary. We have Carolina and a buddy also to support us at D, which is again why I think we can flex to the middle if we need to without abandoning our flank. Sorry. There's the Kiev. Lucky and get shots on the Kiev before he can move out. This dispersion. Had the shot. We're gonna do a canvas or a Kansas count. There's 4 Kansas.
Enemy destroyer detected.
For 10.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Bow in. There can. Managed to pen us.
Enemy battleship detected.
Nice now's broadside. Slow down a little bit.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Of course, we're gonna overpen the Atlanta. Why wouldn't we? Dev is playing very static himself.
Enemy battleship detected.
Spot. And we've already lost a destroyer. It's Spookies. Need to go in on the Kiev, that's for sure. He's not going to win a gun battle versus a T8 Russian DD.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Not sure what the North
Concentrate fire
Carolina
on
is
the enemy
doing.
warship.
Furious getting a little close.
Acknowledged.
Buddy, you need to take out that Atlanta. Remember, he has torps.
battleship detected.
Not spotted. That should be it for the Atlanta. Okay.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Sorry,
Enemy
thought
destroyer
he was
sighted.
slowing down. Stem one. Seemed to be slowing down. North Carolina can counter the Kansas. I'm going to help this Nagato. It's nice now. One salvo if I can. Get reloaded in time. Nagato did find that on his own. Alright, so let's push the Kansas. We have to worry about the Kiev, but not so much of a danger of being torpedoed. Middle.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Enemy battleship detected.
Bounces. Right. Target the Kiev for our secondaries. Time to push the Kansas.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
A little bit behind. Better. Kabuki doesn't deal with the Kiev. Yeah. In torpedo range. I don't think he fired all of his torpedoes. Go.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
Our team has taken the lead.
Ooh. That North Carolina just deleted Kansas. Fortunately, now there's nothing left to shoot at over here, and I'm really slow. So I may not get my 40,000. Man, what a great boat. Oh, there, Kansas. Well, I don't think you can show broadside in it at the range that you were to that North Carolina. That is my guess as to what happened to him. We can take some really long-range shots across the map at their 3 battleships that are turtled up on the 1-2 line. They were too aggressive on our side and then really passive on the opposite edge. Fit through that gap? Not sure. Let's try. Be like parallel parking. Good time to try this when there's not a lot of pressure on. Not a DD chasing me. That boat and a little passage. We can fit in there. I don't know about Minnesota. She might be too wide. Maybe in range of Vlad. Leave the carrier. Won't. Odds I can hit the carrier from 26 kilometers with this dispersion. And my inability to lead. Come on! Oh, I got one! Got an overpen. I just need to push into these BBs. Enough point room to get in a brawl if I can get there. Slow process. I didn't even start on the edge of the map. Started at least the central side of C. D. D, I guess. Go. Our DD's the only ship left. We're actually gonna have to play some defense here. Used as to which was which. Was the carcass. Got him for me, buddy? Benson, you don't need to fire, dude. Just gone out the backside of your smoke.
Enemy cruiser detected.
NC is really low health. Good old overpen again. Benson dies, gonna leave us a chance to mop up a couple ships kills wise.
Our victory is in sight.
Dispersion, gnarly. Let's try to stay angled. Fortunately, we have no supporting ships whatsoever. I don't know what the North Carolina is doing. The other North Carolina on our team. As long as we stop them from taking any more caps, we'll be successful. I want to back into this island. Remember, which of these ships has the weakest bow? North Carolina's backing up.
The ship is on fire.
Just contain them. Doing okay for now. Our back turrets onto the North Carolina, and then angle back away. Once we get a little bit of help, if if help comes. Guessing our North Carolina has to be AFK. He's just going for the carrier, I guess, maybe. Hard to say. Close to our 40,000 number.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Guess with only having 406s, we're not gonna be able to pen the bow.
The ship is on fire.
Maybe our secondaries will get a fire going on the Vlad. Well, North Carolina is getting impatient. It's going to show side, get their back turrets in play, but our reload, so long, it's not going to matter. You can ram me if you want, Vlad. I'll take you down. Crazy how long it's been since any teammate, even in the vicinity,
Problem solved, sir.
we're almost to 1,000 points. I don't think the Vladivostok realizes that. Cannot pen the cheek. Are you kidding me? Hey, we got a fire. Seriously, not even a CV plane. Nothing on this side. Another fire on the Vlad. Our secondaries are rocking. And we wound up taking the game. Anticlimactically, I just didn't want to show broadside to both those guys at once and get deleted. We wound up getting the damage that we needed. We wound up getting our mission accomplished. Another 400 tokens. I finished out with 2 decent battles. I'll take it. I don't know what happened to this guy. He just basically checked out or went AFK. If I had gotten killed by those guys and they had stopped the cap, stopped one of the caps, it might have been to their advantage, so. Completed that full mission set, so when that reloads tomorrow, we'll be ready to move on. I got some karma. Ugh, can't type. Probably that Benson. Die Hard skins. He had a good game. Oops, sorry guys. That was the Fubuki. Alright, so just to review, Be the last game for now. Gonna play some Legends tonight at 9 o'clock our time. 9 or 10 o'clock Mountain Time, which is my time. So, man, we wound up pretty good with wins and losses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, 2 losses. Obviously, we didn't contribute hardly at all in these first 2 games. We crept up to the 45, 50,000 damage mark in the next couple games. Had a good break in the Scharnhorst, good finish, and then did better in our last 3 games. So, can't really complain all that much. What's the result on the Kansas? I mean, for me, it's 25 or 30 games in a ship before I feel comfortable. And you could see that I was finally starting to hit a few more shots. Took quite a while to start dialing in the range on the guns. And I do think having the 406s against the same or higher tier ships is a bit of a liability. Lots of bounces with AP. So you're really going to probably have to aim at superstructures more than at the sides of ships if they're angled and they're more than 12 or 14 kilometers away. But when we got in close in that last game before this, we were able to do some decent damage on the Georgias and obviously the cruisers and finish off that Iowa. So all in all, that was a fun set. And we improved over time, which is all I ask as a player. Not going to win every game as a solo player, but I do put it on myself to get better over time in the same ship and to just use my experience to contribute more each game if I can. So thank you very much if you stopped in on the stream or if you catch us on video on demand. Hopefully you hang around. I'll put a time marker to hang around long enough to see the better games. But anyway, I really appreciate it. I'm Van Kraken. I'm out, and see you next time on World of Warships Legends. Bye.